Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today we're just checking out a couple new budget knives, a couple new Civivi knives. And Civivi does great budget knives. So this is a good example if you want a great affordable knife. Civivi or Sencut. Now, this is the Civivi slip joint version of the Elementum. So there's multiple different kinds of Elementums. There's even a Elementum that's a full titanium frame lock. These are aftermarket, well, not aftermarket, they're from Civivi, but they're titanium scales with a titanium clip. It originally came, you know, with like my Carter or something. My favorite version has been the Warncliffe version of this, which I freaking love because it has thumb studs and a flipper. I just didn't pull it out. And then this one's been like my all-time favorite, the Elementum button lock. It's like a gravity knife, not their small button lock like this one. This one does not have a detent, but the shape and everything is just perfect for me. I've sharpened this, I don't even know how many times, dozens of times, and you see how much life I still have left. I literally sharpened it in a live last night. 14C 28N, amazing, amazing knife. Now this one is also 14C 28N, and it has green micarta scales. We got that same spear point blade with a deep hollow ground grind on it, nice satin finish, beautiful plunge grind. Micarta scales, they're micarta. Is not like super high quality, but for the price, I guess it's for the price, it's really good because you can look at the fibers, they're very consistent. You can tell it's not like a high grade micarta, but it's still a decent grade. Like it's definitely not a low grade and it's not a high grade. It's right there in the middle, which is what you'd expect for the price, right? So that makes sense, right? You can see the value there because it's not like the bottom of the barrel trying to be sold as a premium. T8 hardware all the way around, exactly how it should be. The only T6s are right here on the reversible deep carry clip, so you can reverse it. And this is going to be great for somebody who maybe can't have a locking knife or maybe you just like slip joints, but if you want to be able to open it up one-handed, this is extremely smooth. The fuller is not as sharp as I'd like to be able to roll it around with my thumb. I almost wish they would have just did that a little bit sharper or a little bit bigger, but as you can see, I could still easily open it up. If you're going to two-hand like it's supposed to be, obviously, it's good. And you can hear the walk and talk. Not a strong pull, not a strong pull at all, but that also makes it kind of satisfying because it feels like it's on bearings. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's definitely on bearings because it's just so unbelievably smooth. We do have a lanyard hole back there. Not a huge fan of that, but it doesn't matter. Ergos are really good. You just want to make sure you're not, you know, pushing down up there. And you know what? You can actually probably, yeah, I'd be probably a little worried about that. I was gonna say drop it down to your finger, but what you could do is hold your finger lower and then go like that. So if you needed to open it up, and then I just use my pointer finger and go like that. But anyways, regardless, very neutral ergos. You can see the back spring there, and you know it's a comfortable little knife. It's not something that you're gonna hard use or anything like that because it is a slip joint, but it's gonna be a great cutter. It's going to be great in the hand, you know, ergonomically wise. And as far as negatives, the only little nitpick I could come up with is I wish the clip was inset. You know, they would have had to have cut out a little groove on this side too. That'd be really cool to see from Civivi. But other than that, I can't think of anything else, man. They do a great job with their 14C. They did a good job with the edge. Maybe it's a little bit over buffed, which Civivi tends to do sometimes. They should stop spending so much time on their buffer belt, but they always come really sharp, and it is a really good knife. I'm not sure how many color options that comes in, but I'm sure it's a bunch. Now the next one from Best Damn EDC, Taylor Martin. He also has a YouTube channel for EDC, obviously an EDC channel, and he's been around for a while. He is definitely one of the, I don't know what you'd call it, top tier creators. I don't know, whatever you'd call it. He's, you know, one of the big dogs in the arena, I guess you could say. And I'm not sure if he's designed a knife yet. I don't know. I don't think so. This might be his first one, but I will say this. This is a good company to do your first knife with, Civivi. Civivi, because you know you're going to be able to do an affordable knife and you know it's going to be done well. Now, let's go over it. So we have a clip point blade that does trail up a little bit, but it kicks up and then back down and then comes back up. So the tip is actually pretty easy to get to. Now the steel on this is Nitro V. Love Nitro V, very similar to 14C, really tough. Great edge retention, or good edge, I guess I can't say great. Good edge retention, and then great corrosion resistance. And because of the toughness mixed with the edge retention, it does really, really well with fine edges and low angle edges and thin geometry, etc. The G10 is nice and grippy, but not too aggressive. I did put this in and out of the pocket. The clip was nice and smooth. This is their titanium milled pocket clip, by the way. TA hardware all the way around. Love to see that. Let's talk about this action really quick before we talk about cutting and, ergos and stuff. So the action, you have a front flipper that is pretty easy to get to. You can see it is a minimal front flipper, but they did the perfect jimping on it. So you can get it right from the top right there. Get it with the back of your finger. I can do the reach over, and side finger is a little tough, but you can get it. It's just because it's a small one. You can get it, but it's not going to be the easiest, but all the other ways are fine, which is how it's meant to be anyways. So front flipper works well. It works well. Like I said, it is small. It's a minimal flipper, but once you know where it's at and you allow it to grip your skin, it's super easy. Then the thumb studs, they have the texturing around the edges, which I do appreciate. I don't like smooth thumb studs. I like them to have some grip to them. These are a little tight to the scale. They're slightly proud, but they do feel pretty natural, like as far as just grabbing it and flicking it, whether it's the reverse flick or the thumb flick. So while I think the studs are a little tight to the scales, they feel great. It winds up working out well, so I can't complain about it. Typically, though, when they're that tight, they're difficult to get to. They did a good job here. It's just, I guess, just positioned just perfectly well with the right texturing, placement, and so on. Now, access to the lock bar, in my opinion, could be quite a bit better. That's where it's a little bit of a downfall for me. I wish this was cut back just a little bit. I do have to kind of get in there and get my finger in there. I'm not really digging that. That's a personal preference. Some people don't care about that, but for me, I am very critical over that, because to me, I want a knife to be just as easy to close as to open, because what's very important to me is a knife I can get open one hand, make my cut, and then close back up and get back in the pocket or get it out of, the danger zone so I can use my hands. Now, this isn't so bad where you can't get it, but I'm just saying, it's a little annoying because I wish it had better access. That's it. It's not horrible or anything like that. No deal breaker, just, it'd be nice. And then as far as reverse flick goes, that's the same thing, just as good as the thumb flick. Really well done there. And it is slim. With a slim knife like this, it tends to, so from my experience, and this isn't always, right, the front flippers on slim knives seem to be easier to do. Now, like I said, it's not always. I'm just saying better than, say, a super wide knife. And thumb studs too. Thumb studs have like this snappiness to them when the knife is kind of slim like this. Now, ergonomics. So I feel like it's meant to be right up here like this, choked over this spot right there. It does have a nice sharpening tool and plunger on, by the way. Great job, Taylor, on that. I'm very happy about that, because the stop pin hits there. And, seeing that it hits there, it's not a big deal, because you're never going to have to cut out your own choil or anything. This is perfectly done. But you can choke up right over that so that you can get nice tight cuts. But my fingers, so see how the two lands there and the other two right there? So that's why I'm saying that. If I choke back to right there, for my hands, my middle finger lands right on that hump. Is it a big deal? No, but I'm just showing you that it does. I would more than likely use it like this. This is this type of knife for me, and I think it's going to be like that for the majority of people. Obviously, if I need a slice, I can slice, right? And it's going to be comfortable. Like I said, I would choke up and do it. And then if I needed to switch to a utility cut or to cut down on a flat surface, it's very easy to manipulate. Now, By the way, this is not recurved at all. I know it kind of looks like it, and I thought it might have been, you know, before I put it on the stone, but after putting it on the stone and honing it, it is not recurved at all. You can use any stone that'll work just fine. There's no need to ride the edge or anything like that. It's just like sharpening any other drop point or trailing point blade. One thing that I am a little bit surprised on, right? So I do think the blade and handle do complement each other well. So, you know, like I said, my finger lands on that hump, but it's not a big deal. You know, I would have no problems using this. It feels good. It's nice and slim, very lightweight. Something that you can obviously easily carry without, you know, weighing you down or, you know, being in the way of anything. But the blade, so it's Nitro V, right? Which I love Nitro V. The geometry is a little bit more on the robust side for such a narrow knife with a very small grind. I kind of wish it was a hollow grind, and this might be just him. Maybe he prefers a little bit more toughness, and that 100% could be the case. He might have been looking, I want great, you know, edge strength so that, you know, it can, you know, hit things and not have to worry, because it is, not that it's thick behind the edge, but when you lower back your edge angle, it's going to have a pretty big bevel because it is slightly thick, but it's just going from this thickness down to this edge, that thin, starting from here down, you have to rapidly drop it. So for a small handle, slim knife, to me, the grind is a little thick and robust for the ergos. So while I think the blade shape and handle do complement each other well, the one thing that doesn't complement is the grind and the handle. In my opinion, this is just, you know, me speaking. Now, does that mean it's bad? No. Does that mean it's not going to cut? No. It doesn't really mean much, to be honest. It's just an observation if you're somebody who looks for cutting performance, edge retention, and things like that. Right? Ease of sharpening and so on, because the thicker they are, the longer it takes to sharpen, the bigger the bevel is. So, you know, the longer it takes. Also, you know, thinner geometry cuts better, obviously. Now, there's also the sacrifice of toughness. So it might be that reason. But being Nitro V, like I said, does really well with thinner geometry. It's a nice tough steel, but no problems with it. I mean, it's fine. It's gonna work just fine. I personally would have did a hollow, but that's just me. But all in all, it's a cool little knife, you know. Like I said, I'm not sure if this is his first knife, but if it is his first knife, you know, pretty cool. You know, I dig it. You know, it's definitely not the same as everything else out there, which I appreciate. And yeah, so I'm not sure, like I said, if he has any other ones or if this is the only one, but from what I know of, this is his first knife design. So shout out to Taylor Martin, best damn EDC. As far as negatives go, you know, the negatives I have, you know, like I said, the access to the lock bar, I think could be a little bit better. It'd have been nice to have a hollow grind, but it's really not a negative. It's just, you know, you got to pick what pick what you're into or what you're not or whatever, and it's fine. It's going to cut just fine. It's not going to have any issues, and some people probably prefer toughness. So really, all in all, it's just the access to the lock bar I wish it was a little bit better. And yeah, like I said, I would prefer a hollow. Other than that, yeah, pretty damn cool. So there you guys go. Work hard, stay tough. Till next time, peace.